Welcome to the October Garden Calendar. This month we will look at what plants are flowering and what needs to be fertilized. We have a video segment on fall bulb planting. We will discuss cleanup and pruning perennials after the frost. We will also have a video segment on putting the garden to bed. We have a sweet, sour, and juicy segment on North Carolina apple varieties. You don't want to miss this. And finally, we will cover last chance options on lawn care and spraying before frost. All this and more in this month's October Garden Calendar. Plants in flower for the month of October. Encore Azalea, American Beautyberry, various hollies, Dayflower, Butterfly Bush, Ageratum, Spider Lily, Jewelweed, Ironweed, Sedums, Hummingbird Vine, Asters, Hibiscus, Liriope, Hearts of Buston, the Susquehanna Camellia, Goldenrod, Chrysanthemums, and many more. Okay, now for fertilizing in the month of October. We need to fertilize our spring flowering bulbs at planting time with a balanced fertilizer. And also, if you did not get around to fertilizing your lawn in September, you need to do so this month as well. We're shooting for 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet, and that would be 10 pounds of 10-10-10 or 5-6 pounds of 17-17. That helps promote root growth during the wintertime. Let's talk a little bit about fall bulb planting. Do you like having beautiful spring flowers pop up around your home after a long winter? In other words, do you enjoy large patches of bright reds, yellows, purples, and pinks exploding in those dull brown landscape beds and out in your dormant brown grass? Well, now is the time to buy and plant some fall bulbs such as tulips, daffodils, crocus, hyacinths, etc. And it's relatively easy to get it done. And some ask, what really is a bulb? A bulb is the horticulture term for the underground storage organ of certain plants. Many spring flowering bulbs can be purchased and planted in the fall. Fall planted bulbs such as tulips, hyacinths, daffodils, and crocus should be planted once soil temperatures fall below 60 degrees. This usually occurs around late October here in Alexander County. The reason that spring flowering bulbs are planted in late October is that most need a 12 to 16 week chilling period to produce flowers. Planting them will allow for bulbs to meet the needed chilling requirements to produce spring flowering flowers. And when bulbs do not receive a long enough chilling period, they usually have shorter stems and bloom close to the ground. Be sure to buy large, firm, and not shriveled bulbs. The size and number of flowers is directly proportional to the size of the bulb. Planting bulbs is not hard, but one key to planting fall bulbs is that they must have good drainage. If in heavy clay soils, dig your hole and then mix a good organic soil amendment like peat moss, aged bark, or compost into the underlying soil. If planting single bulbs, you can use a bulb planter. Just go real deep and put some loose soil back in the hole before planting your bulb. It is really best to plant groupings of bulbs, as large patches of flowers put off a more awe-inspiring aspect. To do this, it's best to excavate an area, then put some of the loose soil back in and then plant your bulbs. Bulbs should be planted 3 to 4 times as deep as the width of the bulb. Again, 3 to 4 times as deep as the width of the bulb. When planting in groupings, space your large bulbs 3 to 6 inches apart and your smaller bulbs 1 to 2 inches apart. Also, soil pH is critical. If your soil is below 6.0 pH, which most is around here, add lime to the soil under and around each bulb. On fertilizing, one can just use a slow-release complete fertilizer at planting, 1 tablespoon per square foot, incorporated in the soil around the bulb. Or the other option is to use just bone meal or 0.20 at planting in the bottom of the bed to give bulbs a boost of phosphorus and promote root growth. Plus, then give them a teaspoon of 10-10-10 per bulb in the fall as well. Then come back with another teaspoon of 10-10-10 per bulb in the spring at the first sign of green sprouts. If it is a dry fall, be sure to water. After blooming, when the flower petals fall, remove the flower organs. Then let the foliage die naturally. Crocus and daffodils will survive for many years in your yard or garden if given decent care. Tulips and hyacinths tend to live shorter lives, maybe lasting only 2 to 4 years. A sunny, well-drained site will help lengthen their presence. Dividing or splitting bulbs is not usually recommended with spring flowering bulbs. If bulbs are unsatisfactory, just remove them and plant new bulbs the next fall. So now you know all about fall bulbs, so get out there and get to planting. Alright, as far as pruning goes for the month of October, here's a few thoughts. After the frost has killed the top of some of your herbaceous perennials, go in there and cut back or prune the remains of those plants off of there. You remove that, you get an area gone that might hold insects or diseases over the winter. So please cut that back, clear it out of there, make that kind of clean around the tops of your herbaceous perennials. Also, if you plan to move some trees or plants next spring, root prune around those trees or plants. Get you a spade, go around, dig that circle, sever those roots so they can start to form new little feeder roots within that clump of dirt that you're going to move in early spring. So there's a few tips of things you can prune in the month of October. As far as spraying goes for October, here's a last chance to use some burn-down herbicide in some areas where you may have unwanted grass or plants in a certain area. While it's still green and before the frost browns everything up, here's your last chance to get out there and use some of those herbicides. Also, as far as controlling woody weeds, you can still spray them with a recommended herbicide, such as your trumpet creeper, blackberry, maybe poison ivy, Virginia creeper, other briars and brambles. And then, as we're coming to the end of the season, store your garden pesticides in a secured, dry location that will not freeze. Clean your spray tanks out thoroughly with water, fill them up, rinse it out, and then spray it out through your nozzle. Just clean your sprayers thoroughly before storing them for the winter. Let's talk a little bit about putting the garden to bed for the end of the year. Cut down and till in all of your garden remains. Great idea. This helps to get a good start on the composting process. It replenishes nutrients and helps get organic matter to your garden over the winter. Sow a cover crop to your garden, such as crimson clover, rye, wheat, vetch, or other winter cover. This ties up almost all garden nutrients and holds them until tilled under in the spring. Fall is an excellent time to clean and till the vegetable garden, especially if you've experienced insect and disease problems. Many plant pathogens overwinter in the garden on infected plant debris. Removal and destruction of diseased plant debris help in disease control. Removal of the plant debris also eliminates hiding places for some insects and helps reduce insect populations. Additionally, a fall-tilled garden dries out and warms up quicker in the spring and permits early spring planting of cool season crops. And it's also a good time to take a soil sample to the soil lab. Place a trowel full of soil from 6 to 8 different areas in the garden in a clean bucket. Mix it thoroughly and get the final 1 cup sample from the mixture. If parts of the garden are specialized into blueberries or have different histories, such as where the burn pile was, something of that nature, sample these areas separately. Add any recommended amendments this fall, such as sulfur to lower the pH or lime to raise it. Soil test boxes and instructions are available at our Extension Center. Well, October is known as Apple Month to many here in Alexander County, and today I want to cover several different North Carolina apple varieties. There is an apple variety for every taste and use. Some are sweet, some tart, but all are more crisp and tart when they are fresh from the tree. As they ripen, they become softer and sweeter because of the formation of natural sugars. Here are the outstanding qualities and uses of the varieties which make up the bulk of North Carolina's production. The Red Delicious. It's the world's most widely planted apple. It has a thin, bright red skin with mildly flavored, fine-grained white flesh, excellent for eating fresh as a snack or in salads. Rome Beauty. It is the ultimate baking and cooking apple, and yet is also good for fresh eating. It is a very smooth red apple with a slightly juicy, fresh flavor. The flavor grows richer when baked in your favorite recipe. Golden Delicious. It's an apple with firm white flesh which retains its shape and rich mellow flavor when baked or cooked. The skin is so tender that it does not require peeling for most recipes. This apple is one that will stay white longer when cut and therefore is great for salads. The Stamen. Stamen apples have a juicy cream color to yellow flesh with a tart wine flavor. They hold up well in storage and are often used as cooking and cider apples as well as for fresh snacks. Granny Smith. These apples have a mouth-watering tartness. They're distinguished by a bright green appearance, crisp bite, and sour apple flavor. Flavor is pronounced when baked, and the texture is known for holding up well. Gala. The Gala apples are usually medium to smaller in size with a distinctive red and yellow striped, heart-shaped appearance. They have a noticeably sweet flavor and aroma and are excellent for kids as a snack. The Jonagold. It is a large, newer variety with a rich, fully tangy, sweet flavor. The color is an attractive orange-red with light striping over a yellow background. It is juicy and crunchy and is becoming one of the world's most preferred eating apples. The Ginger Gold. It is a medium to large, early maturing apple with a cream-colored flesh and mildly sweet flavor. Appearance is similar to Golden Delicious with an orange blush. The Fuji. It is a newer variety apple with exceptionally sweet flavor. It is becoming a favorite for both fresh eating and desserts. The appearance of this apple is yellow-green with red highlights, but people recognize it not for the way it looks, but for how it tastes. It's known for holding up well in storage. The Crispin or Mutsu apple. They're light green to yellowish white in appearance. This juicy apple has a sweet, rich, full flavor. Its texture is firm and very dense, crunchier and tarter than Golden Delicious. The Gold Rush apple. It has a unique, rich, spicy flavor with a firm texture. These apples hold up very well in storage. The Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp apples are exceptionally crisp and juicy with a well-balanced flavor and good storage life. They're one of the favorites in our area. The Empire. It is a Macintosh-type apple with longer shelf life and better color and flavor. Aromatic and crisp with creamy white, juicy flesh. And finally on our list is the Pink Lady. It's one of the newest apples on the market with a crisp, sweet, tart flavor. This is a very attractive medium-sized apple with pink blush over yellow undertone. Let's look at lawn care for the month of October. Really, September was the best month to sow your lawns, but if you haven't got to it yet, now is your last chance to reseed or overseed your lawn, especially with the cool season of fescue and bluegrass type turf. Those newly seeded areas in your lawn, keep them watered. They must stay watered to have a good germination rate. Please keep the tree leaves from collecting on your lawn. Use them for mulching, use them in the compost pile, or use them as adding organic matter to your garden. The Let's look at some additional tasks for the month of October. You can dig and divide rhubarb this month. You can still divide your perennials if you haven't done so already. It's a good time to take soil samples from your plant beds and vegetable gardens for testing. Start filling your compost bins as leaves begin to fall. If you have not or do not plan to plant a cover crop, you can till organic material like your leaves into the garden. Prepare your bird feeders. Dig and store summer bulbs like gladiola, dahlia, and caladium before the frost. Dig sweet potatoes this month before the frost kills the plants. Spring flowering bulbs can be forced to flower in the dead of winter. Just pot the bulbs early this month and place them inside your refrigerator or under your house where it's cool. In 12 or 14 weeks, take them out into the warmth of your home. You can continue to prepare your lawn and garden equipment for winter storage. Store your leftover fertilizers in a dry location for use next spring. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our garden calendar. If you have questions, call us at 632-4451 or visit us at our website at alexanderextension.com, where there's lots of helpful information and events, and you can also sign up for a monthly newsletter there. That's alexanderextension.com, or stop by and visit us at the Alexander County Service Center at 151 West Main Avenue. Hope to hear from you soon.